So I have a story for you. So today I went to the bookstore. Okay, well, not really the bookstore. I went to Value Village, and my reasoning was, the book club that I run is doing East of Eden soon, so I'm gonna see if I can go get some physical copies to give to other people. And so I go there, and I'm looking around, and I'm there anyways, right? So I look in all the book sections at the Value Village, and while I'm looking at sci-fi, I'm sort of leaning in kind of close to see the books, and then I step to move away from the shelf, and I step on a boot, and I look around, and there's this guy standing right next to me, and his face is like 8 inches from mine, and I'm like, hey, and he just doesn't say anything. He's just right there. So now I think he's like trying to get up in my face, like, what is this guy doing? So I'm like, are you all right, man? And he's like, yeah, I'm fine. He ended up being super chill. I don't know how exactly it worked, but we ended up chatting a little bit, and this guy turns out to be Ben, who is the owner of a bookstore on the north side of Edmonton. Now, I thought I'd cleaned out all the bookstores in Edmonton. Okay, I thought I'd been to the mall, bought all the good books, and left them all destitute. Really, but his bookstore that he was talking about, it opened about a year ago. I think it's called Birch Books. I'd never heard of it. Okay, I'd never seen it on Google Maps. Didn't even know what he was talking about. And for those of you who don't know, I have a flip phone, so I can't look up addresses and like navigate there. So I'm like, hey man, like, are you going back to your store? He's like, yeah. I'm like, hey, can I follow you to your store and then check out the books? Because I had the afternoon off, right? And so he's like, yeah, sure. So I drive with him over to his place down in Little Italy, and his bookstore isn't. It's sizable, but it's not massive. All right, he has about 15,000 volumes, and I think the largest bookstore in Edmonton has 90,000, and like a mid-sized bookstore has like 35,000 volumes. So it's a bit smaller, but his selection is like very good. If I owned a bookstore, I think it would be kind of similar to his. He had very good taste in curating his bookstore, and so I spent way too much money. So I got 2 full bags of books we're gonna go through, and then I have a small stack that I got at the Value Village. So we're gonna go through it all. So hang tight, grab some popcorn. All right, let's get going. So first we'll go through the Value Village books, which are not as good, but you got to get through them before you can get to the good stuff. So we have this falling apart copy of Camus' The Plague. Where's the camera? Here it is. There, now it'll focus. It's falling apart because the cover, sorry, the other side here, the cover is coming apart there. But yeah, it was, what, $3? Can't complain. Where am I going to put all these? Next, we got Faulkner's Go Down Moses. All right, that was $6. I actually haven't read Faulkner, despite how famous he is. Anyways, Thomas Hardy's Return of the Native. Also haven't read any Hardy. Of course, this is a very famous novel. It's falling apart also, $4. I got a copy of Homer's The Odyssey. Now, I've been holding off on buying The Odyssey and the Iliad, just because they're such common books, and I think, well, I keep thinking to myself, I'll find a nice print somewhere, like a nice hardcover, maybe like a folio edition. But this was only $4, and I kind of like the art on the front. Again, here, this is what it looks like. So I bought it. And then I have no idea, it's H.P. Lovecraft and another author, August Derleth, The Survivor and Others. So I've never heard of this. I like Lovecraft. I've read a bunch of his short stories. So, hey, I'd never heard of it before, but it was $4, so why not? Then I also got Frank Herbert's The Lazarus Effect. Now, I've only read Dune. I haven't really read much Frank Herbert, but I picked up a bunch of his other stuff at a different Value Village a couple weeks ago. Just because, he's a big name, might as well collect them. This was only $2, so goodbye. And the last book here from the Value Village is Conquest of the Planet of the Apes. Now, I think maybe this book did it backwards. Normally, you have the book and then it gets made into a movie. It says on the front here that the movie was made into a book, so it kind of went the opposite direction. So I'm not sure how good it'll be if it's based on a movie. I didn't read the cover, obviously, before I bought it. It's only $3, but yeah, we'll see. We'll see how good it is. Alright, now we're getting into the good stuff. That was the Value Village stack. Alright, now we're getting into the Birch paper Birch Books. Paper Birch. Alright, so first we've got some Kierkegaard, Purity of the Heart. I think there's the full title is To Will One Thing. Yeah, anyways, I haven't heard of this one, but Kierkegaard, obviously famous philosopher. I don't know if he's Christian or not. He wrote on Christian stuff though, which is always cool. I have two of his other things. I forget what they're called. Anyways, I have more of his famous works, so it's a good addition. And then I got a bunch of copies of Paradise Lost. Sorry, not Paradise Lost. My mistake. East of Eden by Steinbeck, and that was for the book club, right? So I didn't have the foreknowledge to put them all together in the bag. So now you're gonna see them at multiple instances. But here's one of the hardcovers I got. East of Eden. It also has The Wayward Bus, which I haven't heard of, but you know, Steinbeck. So where can you really go wrong? I also got a whole bunch of C.S. Lewis. Of course, our boy C.S. Lewis. If you're a Christian, you gotta read C.S. Lewis. So I got The Four Loves. Alright, very nice. I got Miracles. And I also have Present Concerns, which I think is just a series of essays. But those were all fairly cheap, like $10 or less, so might as well. And I've also got this book by Julian of Norwich. Now I believe she's a medieval mystic, maybe who was a nun or something like that. Anyways, Revelations of Divine Love. So we'll see if that's any good. I've never read any Julian of Norwich before, but hey. And then this is kind of basic. I know everyone's read this. I haven't yet, but don't have a copy. So, and I know it's pronounced Don Quixote. Quixote. All right, I'm not Mexican. I'm North American. I speak English. Okay, it's Quixote. Don Quixote. That's how it should be pronounced, if you ask me. Anyways, hot take. Oh, we missed a C.S. Lewis. Let's go rewind it for a second here. An intro to Paradise Lost. Okay, or a preface. Now, I've already read the first two books of Paradise Lost. I'm I'm partway through it, so I guess I'll have to take a pause, read this one first, and then get back to Paradise Lost. So, that was a good find as well. Also under $10. Here we go. Here's another copy of the East of Eden. It's a paperback, softcover. I don't know what year this is from. Kind of a nice art on the side with the yellow pages. Very cool. And then we've got... Oh, more C.S. Lewis. Surprised by Joy. Okay. Surprised by Joy. And then we've got two Philip Dick. And if you don't know, I'm collecting Philip Dick. Trying to get all his, I think, 44 of his novels. And there was two there that I didn't have, which is very nice. Martian Time Slip. Alright, in this nice binding here. And then this one, A Scanner Darkly. Now, I was a little bit suspicious by this one, because I don't know if you can see that on there, if the camera will focus. That, right there, is an Edmonton Public Library sticker. So I was wondering if maybe the owner or one of his staff made off with this book, or maybe somebody else did and he bought it off them, and so the book is stolen. Apparently the libraries have community sales. Come on, we all know what happened. You put it on your shirt and you ran out of the store, or out of the library. But anyways, that's kind of funny. But yeah, Philip Dick, always good. I collect them, so it's nice to find more. At good price too. I think it was $11 or $12 for each of those. Oh, alright, that's bag number 1. Now we're on to bag number 2. Oh. Now, funny story here. About last month, I went to the bookstore. Sorry, again, I say bookstore. Value Village. I went to the Value Village, because it's cheaper. And I have never really read much poetry, but I was thinking, hey, let's get into it. And so I thought I knew who this person was, and I didn't. Okay, so I bought this book by Keats, The Complete Poems. And I'm like, wow, I found this great poet. And of course, Keats is great, but who actually I was looking for was Yeats. Yeats and Keats. You see how this is confusing, right? They have only one letter different in the last name. Both poets. Both very famous. Now, I have been reading Keats's poems. I just started, but I like them, they're good. But now I found what I was actually looking for the first time, which is Yeats. So here's a collected poems of Yeats. I prefer to buy the complete works, but I mean, let's be honest. There's so many books on the shelf, how can you read the complete works? So perhaps the collected works or curated list is better. So yeah, I got some Yeats. I also got the official first edition of Peter Pan. I don't know, $4. Peter Pan. One day when I have kids, I'll read it to them. How can you go wrong? Peter Pan, classic story. And I got some Huxley, but again, I didn't have the foreknowledge to put all the Huxley together in the bag. So you might see me come back several times to Huxley, unless I can quickly cobble it together here before I show you. Yep, we're gonna make it happen. Alright, here we go. I think I got 4 Huxley. Now, I've read, of course, Brave New World. Good book. I've also read The Perennial Philosophy, which was dense, a longer read. It's quite dense, but it was good. I really enjoyed The Perennial Philosophy, and so that's what put me on to Huxley, really. I actually read Perennial Philosophy before I read Brave New World, so kind of a weird introduction to Huxley. But here's The Doors of Perception, okay? I don't know too much about that, but there you go. I also got The Island, which is his sort of utopian vision. I think he wrote this near the end of his life. I don't know. And then I got 2 of his other lesser-known works, After Many a Summer, okay? And I also got Antic Hay, right here. And those 2 last ones are in the same binding, which is quite nice. They had a bunch of other Huxley, too, and I was very tempted, but you know what? Once your bill starts racking up that high, you kind of reconsider, right? Here's another copy of East of Eden. This is kind of like the basic one that you'll see in all the used bookstores. This is the one I'll give away to my friends for free. I'll probably keep the hardcover, but. And then I got a couple McCarthy. Now, I have read No Country for Old Men and The Road, and I read The Road first in high school. I quite enjoyed it. Very good. Now, Cormac McCarthy is one of those writers that is he's kind of like the writer of our time, you know? He's the great novelist of the 21st century. Anyways, there's lots of great novelists of the 21st century, but he's like, you know, the well-known American guy. So I have a bunch of stuff by him as well, collected, that I haven't read yet. I think I have The Crossing, All the Pretty Little Horses, oh man, a couple others I can't think of the top of my head. And then anyways, I also picked up Suttree today. Okay, Suttree. Don't know what that's about. And then I also have The Passenger, which is supposed to be one of his best, so happy to find this one. But who knows when I'll get to it, because realistically, my reading list is like 1,000 books long. Maybe not that long, but it's pretty long. And then I've got, I don't know, this book caught my eye. Never heard of the author or the title, but it was $3, so I bought it. It's called The Mark II Wife by William Trevor. It's supposed to be like a really good short story, and this is a tiny book. This is a novella for sure. Not even, it's a short story. So we'll see how good that one is. I don't know, $3, hard to go wrong. And then I was lucky enough to be able to expand my Goethe collection with this one. This one's called Elective Affinities, okay? Now, I have Faust, parts 1 and 2. I also have The Man of 50. And I have one more, I believe. Bear with me 1 second, this is irking me. Maybe I do not. Maybe I don't have a third Goethe. Or a fourth Goethe. Just Man of 50 and Faust. But anyways, I also missed McCarthy Blood Meridian. I have that one as well. I just saw it on the shelf. But yeah, more Goethe. Amazing. And then I already have a copy of Paradise Lost. This is one I didn't buy today. I bought it in the past. John Milton, Paradise Lost. Has some other writings in there as well. But I also found, this is like a $10 hardcover, so why wouldn't you? It's quite nice as well. Like a very old, and it has like a bunch of his poems in here as well. So, you know, I bought this. But I'm not sure. Oh, yeah. I was wondering if it was, the spelling was changed, because I know obviously it being written a long time ago, some of the older editions are harder to read, but I think this one was edited for the modern audience. And now the last one here is Ovid's Metamorphoses. Now you can get this anywhere. This is not like a special find at this bookstore. I just saw it and I bought it. So, but I don't know. I've been reading Shakespeare, and in the footnotes, a lot of times in the footnotes it references Ovid's Metamorphoses. So, I had to pick this up because I don't know, Shakespeare, it influenced Shakespeare a lot. So probably worth my time. But yeah, that is the whole stack. So thanks for tuning in. Sheesh, I spent way too much money. Subscribe so I can afford more books, alright? Anyways, have a good one.